say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Motion Derby and second Smith to approve the minutes and agenda. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're ready for you. Skip to number 4.
I don't have anything today.
All right, that was simple. Anybody else for drainage?
I don't either.
Got a beaver dam on one of the ditches near me. I had Myron drone it,
Oh, okay.
and it's there, and that's the one that we caught multiple beavers out of last year. So if I see rugness in the area, I will have
Yep.
them pull it.
Perfect. Perfect.
It's one right south of my home place in Center Township. Morning, Scott.
Morning.
Morning.
Scott Miners, engineer, will discuss secondary road matters.
All right, I don't have any updates on construction. We're still shooting for that October 16th date for the bridge by Buffalo Center. Let's see.
Yeah, I talked to somebody who was really angry.
I thought I'd have more calls. So far, I haven't found anybody who is directly inconvenienced by it that I talked to, but plenty out there I haven't talked to.
Yeah, it's a bad timing, but it is what it is, I guess.
So, still shooting for that date. Other than that, Becky's also announced that she'd like to retire at the end of the year. So
Just say no.
I'll have another position to fill here. So we'll be putting out something here shortly. Looking for a new person for the office.
Did she have a date in mind?
She will work with us a little bit on overlap, but looking to be the end of the year. Give or take some vacation days and things like that.
So you look at some overlap then?
Hopefully we can overlap a week and change, seeing how it goes. I mean, there's a certain amount of stuff that you can point to and say, when this comes up later in the year, here's what you're looking for. And then there's things like claim cycles and payroll cycles that would be good to work with her on, and kind of get through that. Those are kind of the two critical time periods, processing claims and payroll.
Must be cutting a tree down somewhere, huh?
Me?
The guys, I saw one in the back end of one of the trucks.
They've been doing a lot of brush and
This wasn't brush.
yeah,
That
they've
was,
been cutting some trees
I'm like,
down.
man, that was in the right of way? That's a big tree.
Yeah, I know there's several spots they've been working on where, people's grows have just encroached to the closer and closer to the road, and they haven't been cut back in a while. And when we leave them, we like to make sure that they don't need to be cut next year or the following year. So we try to do a thorough job.
So do you have a policy in place when it's something major-ish, as far as taking those trees down, that you let the landowner know?
We don't have a policy, and we're kind of thinking through it a little bit this year because we've done more tree trimming than we have in probably the entire 10 years I've been here. I understand that they've been knocking on doors a little bit, trying to see if anybody's home, and if they're not, then they just proceed. But we've been talking about trying to get a hold of the landowner and making contact with them prior to starting.
Sure.
We've had at least one instance where some oak branches were cut, and we went back and treated them based on the landowner's request, and he wasn't really too excited about how we had trimmed them. You know, we have one goal, and it's to try and open up the road so that we're not having branches slap machinery and equipment like that, and trying to keep the ditches clear so we can mow them. That's kind of what we're after, so that not exactly the same goal as pruning a tree, you know, in the way that an arborist would do it. So I think we have some room for improvement on notification and working with people.
Okay, as long as you're aware. Yeah.
Yeah.
The hard part for a lot of landowners is that if you're taking down trees that are in county right-of-way and then pushing them into private property, you know, if they were county trees, should they be removed, taken
Sure.
away?
Obviously, they're doing it with the one I just saw, so.
Yeah, you know, I think before this year, it had been if it's growing on your property and overhanging and you haven't taken care of it, trimmed it up, we'll back it off and leave it there at the fence line. And in most cases, that hasn't generated a lot of complaints, but if it's in front of somebody's acreage, you know, I can see where that is very acceptable. So yeah, we are hauling some now.
Or if when you do push it into private property, you know, somehow consolidate it or something, so it's not
Sure, put it in a pile.
all, you know, so that if they want to burn it or get rid of it or something, they're at least able to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think coordination with the landowners would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked too about, you know, trying to send out notices in the spring that we'd be around in the fall. And if, it, you know, if they did trim them by then we would. And if they wanted it done a certain way, they, you know, then they'd have a chance for the summer. But I wouldn't say that we had a list before this fall. You know, the guys just kind of.
And the reason you're doing it more now than you've done it is because you have the right equipment?
We have the right equipment. We're missing some equipment for other jobs, the semi. We had a pretty light construction summer.
Good time.
We got the guys to do it. We got a bucket truck. We got a skid loader with a grapple bucket. We got that right equipment. We don't have the semi to haul the big excavator around to do things like ditch cleaning or that's the main thing. Right now.
I think even if you had some type of a door hanger, you know, that could just go on their doorknob the week before or something.
And some of the overgrowths, being as they haven't been trimmed much in the last 10 years, some of them are pretty bad.
Sure.
And you can't even get through them with a tractor without hitting them.
Well,
Let alone
what
a
people are
combine.
nervous about though is the oak wilt as well.
Yeah.
You know, if you have an open wound on a tree, it's more susceptible to oak wilt. And that's spreading really quickly through the country.
Yeah. I mean, Ethan and I talked about that exact thing. Most of the overgrowth, I'd say, is typically cottonwoods and
Box elder.
other things that aren't desirable. They just happen to have grown up. But I think things like mature oaks and walnuts, we got to be able to identify those at least. So we did talk about that.
All right, anything else for secondary roads? We'll move on to number 3. Consider for approval utility permit for Benco Electric Co-op to bury an electric line on 510th Street.
This is a small project with Benco, to put in some distribution line for about a mile on the state line from R20 going east.
This is mostly Minnesota, isn't it?
The project, you mean, or their area? Yeah, I assume they have more of the project in Minnesota. I don't have the full plans for
It
it.
seems like it's on the north side of the road mostly, isn't it?
My phone wouldn't let me open it for some
In
reason.
this mile, it's on the north side of the road. Benco's a company out of Minnesota, so they operate mostly up there. I don't know if we have more than, I don't know if we've had a permit from them before.
Well, the one,
Apparently they're trying to serve some Alliant customers.
yeah, it seems to be on the Minnesota side for the most part.
I couldn't open it either. Why do you suppose that is?
On a phone or on a computer?
It's on my phone.
I opened it on my computer, and it was fine.
But most everything I can open on my phone.
This one wouldn't?
This one wouldn't for whatever reason.
Hmm.
I mean, it wasn't on Wi-Fi or anything either. It was out in the middle of the fields.
Yeah, wouldn't think it'd be too big of a file or anything.
No. I've opened other stuff from you before. So, what are they supplying the power to?
You mean, which acreages or?
Well, it goes right past the one acreage. They've already got power there. And it's going, unless it goes north from there.
Like I said, I think they're trying to take some Alliant customers,
Oh,
which is the overhead that runs along there.
yeah.
By some, maybe by some mutual beneficial agreement or something. I'm not sure exactly.
Huh.
So I opened it in the office.
I guess I would make a motion to approve the utility permit for Benco Electric Co-op to bury an electric line on 510th Street.
I'll second it.
Motion from Jeswell, second from Derby, to approve utility permit for Benco Electric Co-op to bury electric line on 510th Street. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you.
All right, open forum.
Yep.
That's your case for Iowa, Golden Hole.
Oh.
That's the whole project.
That's what it is.
It's the letter application.
How far are they on their build, I wonder?
There's certain buildings that are complete, working across the west end. They've taken
I
down
wonder how many
a lot of,
buildings,
Huh?
how many buildings were,
well, originally there was 18 torn down, and played like 12, 6 on each side.
I don't remember what it was. I knew they were taking down more and they were putting up.
Well, one place is burning, so. What about fire up there? They're on the back. Anything else for open forum? Move on to consider for approval liquor license for Rice Lake Golf and Country Club.
Do I have that in here? Everything else. Make the motion to approve the liquor license for Rice Lake Golf and Country Club.
I'll second it.
Motion Smith and second from Derby to approve the liquor license for Rice Lake Golf and Country Club. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Consider for approval signing amended 28E with Care Connections.
These are both in here, so I'm not sure if you.
So, refresh my memory, claim schedule this month. This, we had them last week, we have them this
Just
week,
about every week,
and it's supposed to be next week.
right, and I'll pay again next week. It's been that people just keep bringing claims, which is normal, and the newspapers are getting more and more expensive, so the longer the minutes are, the more expensive it is, and so it's easier for me to just keep paying and having the claim shorter. You know, so I just keep paying. Somebody will bring me something that they need paid this week, and I might as well pay what I have instead of waiting. So I had 50 checks just today, and it's the off week. That would have had to wait another week, so I just keep paying. And then I let Becky know, and she had some too today that she paid.
So instead of having one big long one, we just have
So the 2 long ones, we have 4 shorter ones.
4 short.
Yeah, and if there's a week that there isn't anything and it's the off week, I won't pay, but it just continues to be a lot.
So what's the changes in the amended Care Connection?
It's basically, they took away authority from county supervisors. We had to alter our board, where it's now 51% people that have skin in the game and 49% of the people who are held responsible by the voters. So I'd almost give it to them if they give us the 51%. People that are on our board that have family members that are consuming, or people that actually work for it have now more voting authority than the supervisors. And you can thank our state legislators for that.
Care Connections represents the counties, but the counties have the minority voice.
Not more,
Minority.
Minority.
or minority,
Yeah.
yeah,
We have the minority voice.
yes. And they're saying that because it's now paid for by sales tax instead of property tax, you know, now. And I'll challenge them to prove to me that our sales tax amount is about exactly the same. The sales tax we pay in our counties isn't exactly the same, or awful close to what our levies would have been. So the money's coming from the same people. I mean, the whole thing is,
Forgive my misunderstanding, but the money comes from the counties. In other words, the sales are generated inside the counties.
Well, no,
State
it's
sales
state
tax.
sales tax.
State sales tax, which is
But-
charged
but-
inside county lines.
Yes, exactly, yes, and when they're out there talking about this, they all forget to mention the fact that we all pay sales tax. So the county should still at least retain the 51%. But that's not near as bad as what they did on the second judicial district. They made us on an advisory board now, so why even go to the meetings? All we can do is go and listen now. And they gave all the authority that the 99 county supervisors used to have in the judicial districts to one person who is the head of the Department of Corrections at the state of Iowa, and I challenge you to research who she is. Appointed by an in theory Republican governor.
So this then takes away home rule
Um,
for the counties, essentially.
What Mr. Rowley and Mr. Stone told me was, that they didn't know that that was in there when they voted on it.
There's a lot of that.
And I
Have
think
let-
they were truly probably maybe deceived.
So they're admitting that they're not reading the legislation that they're
They
passing.
did not understand what they had voted on. I had their last couple of legislative forums, I was on them really hard. And still pass.
So I've got a list of all of our legislators and congressmen and put them in my phone so I can talk to text. And because you never find time to do it, to email them or send them something. So now when I'm in the car, all I have to say is send a text. Hey Siri, send a text to, and you can just rant all you want while you're driving. And then she says, would you like to send it? And I say, yes, I would. I think we should all do that. It's so simple, because you don't have to sit at a computer, you don't have to type it in, just,
Still texting and driving.
is it really texting and driving?
Hands free. Still texting and driving.
Well,
I
it's
do it when I
proven
stop
that,
at a stop sign.
Terry.
well, texting where you're actually typing with your thumb going down the road is more dangerous.
Oh, for sure.
But they have
But just
proven
talking.
that like talking, that most of the distraction is distracting you when you're thinking in the conversation. They have studies out there that show that the
So
real.
don't do what I do, just
So-
do it when you're stopped at a stop sign.
So if you get caught in a semi, talking on your phone, holding it up to your ear, it's a $5,000 fine for the carrier and a $5,000 fine for the driver. But the real distraction isn't holding your phone to your ear, it's the conversation itself. So even if you've got a wireless.
Basically, you're advocating that we put quiet please signs up in our cars so that there's no distractions whatsoever.
Basically.
No radio or anything.
Well, I mean, there are people who seem to be able to multitask, and there are those that don't seem to be.
But I would counter that, actually talking about what's in your head is not any more distracting than listening to the radio or a radio book or that kind of thing.
No, distracted driving is distracted driving. If you're not focused on your driving, no matter what, even if you're eating a ham sandwich.
So do you not have the radio on when you're,
Careful what you say here, Bill.
Once in a while, to listen to him.
I'm religiously listening to KIOW.
107.3.
Yeah, 107.3. I've been distracting myself for many, many years. 3 million miles worth of driving. And I've yet to have an accident.
so anyway, I've been telling everybody that because it's so simple. All you have to do is send a text to, send an email to.
And you know they're getting it.
Makes me feel better.
Judicial districts, you would think that by, state taking it over and consolidating it, but they're not eliminating any jobs. The cost isn't gonna go down at all. If there was some kind of a cost-saving thing here, and maybe it will be in the future, it will surprise me, but, from what I can see, I'll say it was take the authority away from 99 county supervisors. And they face say this one person is evidently smarter than the 99. And our judicial districts were well-run. The second judicial district was one of the most well-run boards that I've seen. And guys did a good job and they cared about what they're doing. Anyway, now that we've done all that, I'll make a motion to approve the signing of the amended 2080 agreement with Care Connections.
I'll second.
Motion Gentile, second from Smith, to approve the amended 2080 agreement with Care Connections. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
So, Bill Gentile, secretary.
Mike, sign your authority away.
Oh, no, that's already happened. State made up that.
And is there 2 copies there, Bill?
2 documents,
Right, okay.
One, this is
the bylaw.
bylaws.
Okay.
Oh, I think I just had to sign this. It didn't get signed when I was at the meeting the last time.
Oh, I
think it
see.
must have-
Okay,
And
This is what we're.
this is what we approved today.
got you. Okay.
As usual, you have your technical issues, and you're about ready to jump off the top of the building, and, you know, and you hit the wrong button and the rocks launches, you know, that kind of thing. But all in all, Mark's getting adjusted to it. John's got it down, and is doing his best. And me, as complicated as my show is, it was a real struggle for us to do our show at the very beginning.
I'll make a motion to approve the county claims.
Second.
Derby and a second from Smith, to approve the county claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Make a motion to approve the payroll claims.
I'll second.
Motion from Smith and a second from Derby to approve the payroll claims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
The payroll claims, they only gotta be stamped in one spot, right? You know, so this
So I
is,
mean, each stapled document is.
I'll have to admit, when they told me that they didn't know that was in the bill that they voted on or whatever. I says, well, that almost makes me more mad. You guys didn't know what was in it. I says, guys, are we like Nancy Pelosi? We gotta pass this thing so we can find out what's in it?
There are a few things that are going on at the legislature that are just making some eyebrow raise.
Well, if it's not broke, why are they trying to fix it? There can only be one reason, it's because they don't want us in charge of it.
We adjourn again.
Should we adjourn?
But this one,
Anything else for the meeting today?
looks like we've accomplished our agenda.
We've accomplished our agenda, and we're on to pontificating other things, so.
We could find a soapbox somewhere.
Yeah,
I've got 2 of them, but I can't bring them in until the tape stops, so.
we stand adjourned.